I'm Duncan McCallum. I'm the Associate Artistic Director of Mixed Company Theatre. And I wanted to say thank you very much for taking your time to take a look at what we do at Mixed Company. Since 1983, Mixed Company Theatre has educated, engaged, and empowered over 350,000 students from across Ontario using the unique methodology of forum theatre, an interactive brand of theatre that encourages audience participation to create positive solutions for worst-case scenario situations. The interactive nature of a mixed company theatre presentation results in your students developing real-time strategies for dealing with issues and engages them in creating practical solutions that they can apply to similar situations that they may face in their lives. We consult educators, students, and curriculum to create each of our educational programs. This means that a mixed company theatre presentation is thoughtfully tailored to the diverse needs and the developmental levels of your students.
But what mixed company does is they come into an educational institution and they allow the youth to come up and teach each other and share what they know with each other. And I find this to be a very powerful tool because youth are much more likely to listen to each other than they are to listen to, you know, some old adult who they don't think relates to them and they don't think understands them.
So while the first half was very scripted in terms of highlighting the different scenarios, the second part was really very unscripted.
You mess around with my sister, right? And I gotta prove my loyalty to y'all? Hold up. Nah. Who bought you this? Who bought you this slush?
It was nice to see that because it allowed the students to sort of rewrite the play, if you will, in terms of figuring out different choices they could make. And that really was great because it was very much in line with some of the youth engagement principles and resiliency and developmental assets that we try to work with the schools.
Often the issues that were identified from the show were pretty sticky, sometimes very sensitive topics. So in a regular discussion, some students may have the fear, like what if I say something wrong? What if my peers will laugh at me? Those kind of things. But by making it saying like, we need to follow those rules and we need to make this a safe environment for everybody so that you can talk what you want to talk. Like this really gives them the freedom to really solve the problem to their full potential. So I really like that piece.
What I think it gets through the kids is offering them options and actually showing them the different choices that they have out there and showing them real life scenarios through people who have lived it.
And they're very much engaged and they're put in these complex situations where they have to, and they're complex, but they're maybe the reality, right, that they may be faced with, and they have to come up with strategies. That's just very powerful and a great way of learning rather than, you know, sometimes with the pamphlets and the way of doing it. This is a great way to engage youth. We know from what research says, peer-to-peer works.
Because it's interactive, the audience, the youth, begin the process of dealing with critical thinking. They deal with peer education. Because it's interactive, someone can come up and show us what they would do instead of what the worst case scenario that they've seen, what they can do to make the situation better.
I really like that it allows students a chance to use their voice. So at the end of a show, we go back to a moment in the play that they want to change. And they come up on stage and they get to show us their option for change. And what they can offer sometimes is very, very amazing, like things that we never would have thought of ourselves. And it's such a cool experience for me, and I think for anyone in the room, like even like an entire student body, to see one of their peers use their voice in a way that they haven't before and to be heard in a new way. And I think that's really important and amazing.
You don't just go in and do a production and say, you know, goodbye. No, you actually provide packages for teachers and for them to follow up and have that debriefing with students, and the dialogue carries on. So we think it's a great initiative.